Hey everyone, sorry for that. We had some technical difficulties there. I guess the YouTube gods wanted to shut us off early. I guess we said too much about the Nets. You know what I'm saying? They called in and said, "End premium takes now." They're letting the world know that Kevin Durant is going to be traded. But hey, we're back right now. We were talking NBA free agency. We were in the middle of that. I know Mac had a point he wanted to make. Mac, do you still have that point? Do you want to make it?
I was just talking about the Nets. They got to get a lot in return for players of that caliber, and it's not easy to get that. It's hard to get value for players like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, let alone like you're going to try to find two trade partners right now that are willing to give up the things that need to be given up, the pieces that need to be given up to acquire a Kevin Durant or a Kyrie Irving. Good luck with that. It's going to be a tough off season for the Nets front
It's
office,
already
man.
tough.
So I just don't see it happening. And to be quite frank, this is a business at the end of the day. These guys put their names on contracts. It's time to hold these athletes accountable, man. When you put your name on that contract, man, look, unless it's a legitimate like disaster reason that you need to get out of your contract and move on, start taking some responsibility, man. Nobody forced you. Nobody put a gun to your head and said you better sign this contract with this team. So come on, you guys are getting paid a lot of money. I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to a whole different thing now. So that's why I get frustrated with the NBA because it's more. It seems to be worse in the NBA than any of the other professional sports. To me, at least, it does. It's just ridiculous. All the movement of superstars, team to team every year. It's a mess. It's a whole mess, man.
Well, it's how do you think like Adam and myself feel right now as longtime Nets fans, and we're stuck in the middle of this whole thing. And you're absolutely right. Kevin Durant, nobody told him to sign that 4-year extension. He did it. Kevin Durant put pen and paper to sign a 4-year extension with the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets don't have to trade this guy. They could just tell Kevin Durant, you don't want to play? Sit home. Sit home right now. Don't play. We don't have to trade you. We got the leverage. You signed the extension. Kyrie, you re-upped on your opt-out. You opted in. We don't have to trade you either. You don't like it? Sit out. But obviously, the PR is not going to be great, and you have a bunch of fans that probably paid tickets to see those guys play. So I mean, that's the pressure of the whole thing when it comes to the owner Joe Tsai and the GM Sean Marks. But I mean, you're right. When it comes to the NBA, is worse than any other sport when it comes to players pretty much dictating where they're going to go. And I don't care if you're not getting the right return. I'm talking about extreme maximum value for Kyrie Irving and especially Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. We're running it back this year. Kevin Durant, you're not going anywhere. You're playing in Brooklyn this year. Kyrie Irving, you're not going anywhere. You're playing in Brooklyn this year. You guys decide to sign here. Kyrie, you opted in. Kevin Durant, you signed a 4-year extension to stay here. Cry, moan, bitch, complain, say anything. You're not going anywhere. You're staying in Brooklyn. Unless we can get extreme maximum value, and that's 4, 5, multiple first-round picks, some unprotected. We can get 2 or 3 good young all-star type players that we can build around so we're not barren like we were the last time we pulled this big three movement. But yeah, I don't care. You don't like it, Kevin Durant? Stay home. You signed the contract. Too bad. It's Kevin Durant more than Kyrie Irving because he's here for the next 4 years. Kyrie Irving, he's a headache right now. I mean, at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie Irving gets traded because they just don't want to deal with his headache anymore. And you could bring in a guy like Russell Westbrook. Maybe Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving just don't like each other anymore. Maybe they just don't want to deal with playing each other. Maybe Kevin Durant doesn't want to deal with the headache that is Kyrie Irving. That could be going on behind the scenes. And maybe he just threw it out there because Kyrie Irving might be staying here because he opted in. So if Kyrie Irving gets traded first, maybe Kevin Durant decides to backtrack what he said and decides to stay. Who really knows? But right now, the ultimate losers are those Nets fans that have to sit here, that have been fans of this damn team for so long. We have to sit here like asses waiting for this whole situation to be played out because we're waiting to see if our genius GM and our cheap all of a sudden owner are going to be able to make a move. And if Kevin Durant can get his head out of his ass and just decide, hey, maybe I'm just going to stop with this stupid trade proposal I made and just stick it out with this team and see what we can do next year with Ben Simmons here. Maybe Ben Simmons decides to, play this year. I'm sick and tired of this friggin' team.
I doubt it. Well, like I said, I think this is a negotiation.
Sorry for the rant. I'm sorry for the rant.
It's okay. It's okay. That's what you're passionate about.
I hate this team, what they're doing to their fan base.
And I agree. I'm right there with you. The thing that Mac is saying, this is the only sport where the players dictate where they want to go. The NFL, they'll cut your ass. Say, all right, you don't want to be here. Bye. See you. You know what I mean? And that guy doesn't always have a leg to stand on because the NFL, it's a tough sport. It's tough negotiations. But here with the Nets, I just think if you haven't been traded already, when are you going to be traded? Because those two guys didn't show up in the playoffs. Okay, they're coming off spotty season. Their value is not as high as the Nets wanted to be. If the Nets were coming off the Eastern Conference loss, okay, or something of that nature, and they played their hearts out, but it was like, they lost because Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are the only two on the team, then I can see them having some value. But they have nothing. You got ousted in the first round. You barely even went out with won one game, if that. I think you were swept. I don't even remember it so bad, right? Swept. So now they want to be traded. Like, no, out of your deal, shut the F up and get on the court because it's not our fault that you guys underachieved. Okay, Kevin Durant, where were you in the playoff game? How dare you have the audacity to ask for a trade when you didn't even show up in the playoffs?
You hear the reason why he asked for a trade? You hear the reason why he asked for a trade? Because he can't take the criticism, and because the Golden State Warriors winning a championship. Give me a freaking break.
Like, if you can't handle the criticism, don't come to New York because that's what we do. Guys like me and Jeff sit here, we go on WFAN and other programs, and we come at you. Why? Because we demand excellence, especially when you claim that you're the best player in the NBA or damn near one of them. I don't have time for all that bullshit. Okay, I'm tired of the Nets. I'm tired of what they're doing. And KD, if you don't want to mess with us, that's fine. You can, kick rocks. But you ain't leaving without what Jeff said, without at least 3 or 4 first-round picks. With that being said, let's move on to our topics. I know we had technical difficulties. We are back. We are still on the air. We will go down the sports memory lane again while we're here. And maybe you guys have another sports moment that you are fond of. I will start with Jeff.
Well, another sports memory that I was fond of was... I'm gonna go back to. Let me see. I'm thinking of one right now because I'm gonna go with the other game that happened in the 2011 New York Giants championship run, and that's the NFC Championship game, or as what we like to call it, the Eli Manning gets his ass kicked game, but still stands back up and has an all-time epic performance. I mean, that
favorite game.
That was ever. One of my favorite games. Me and my brother were sitting there on the couch. He's a big Titans fan. He's like sitting there like trying to keep me calm because I'm freaking jumping up and down like a maniac the entire time. Like you're trying to like not contain myself because of the hard-hitting nature that was going on in this game. I mean, if you guys remember, Victor Cruz was just absolutely unguardable that whole game. Carlos Rogers probably wished he never played in that game. The way Victor Cruz was just absolutely eating him up that whole time. The defenses were absolutely crushing Alex Smith and Eli Manning. I mean, if you love defense, that NFC Championship game, 2011/2012, that's your type of game because that was a true smash-mouth game, whether it was Justin Smith, Aldon Smith, Brooks, NaVorro Bowman, Patrick Willis. They were all coming at Eli Manning, knocking him down, hard hits, hitting him to the ground. And Eli Manning, what did he just keep doing? He just kept getting back up. And one of my all-time favorite plays, the only catch that this guy had during that game, Mario Manningham, right down the middle, catch, touchdown. One of the most clutch catches that this guy can have during that time. Lawrence Tynes hits a clutch field goal to win it, and one of my favorite games all time. The signature Eli Manning becomes an official New York Giant because, I mean, there were other games that he became a Giant, but that game especially. It's like this guy is our 100% guy because, again, people are questioning if Eli Manning was still the guy because he was struggling at times. Tom Coughlin, does he still have it? And what did Eli Manning just do? Got his ass kicked. He went out there and had an all-time great performance. That whole entire season, Eli Manning was terrific, but especially that playoff run. Eli Manning and those wide receivers were on another level, but that game will always be an all-time favorite of mine.
And that
Eli Manning earned his stripes.
And that's a fantastic memory. It should be labeled that Eli Manning earns his stripe or his legendary status, as I like to call it. Because
no doubt about it.
Pulling grass out of his helmet, twisting his shoulder pads back
legendary
around.
Status. Legendary
all
status.
All he did was keep slinging that thing.
And he did. You know what? You know, and that's what people don't know. Is like, will this kid that we have now? We'll move into that in a second. Do that, because Eli Manning, as much as you hate the guy, that was one of those performances we'll look back again in 40 years and say, damn, that was one of the baddest beatings I've ever seen a quarterback take. And that guy just stood in there, hung in there, and just kept fighting. And that's why I think if we don't have Eli Manning in that position, I don't think we win that game. I know I think Antrell Roll and Justin Tuck said as much too. I don't think anybody else could survive, even in this modern day today. I don't think anybody else is surviving that beatdown. So, Jeff, great moment. How about you, Mac?
Well, you know, I'm gonna go back to 1992 since we was just talking about the whole basketball thing. Go back to 1992. You know, when I actually did love basketball and love the NBA. Yeah, because that was real basketball getting played back then. It wasn't these little crybabies we got today. But here we go. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. Taking cheap shots at the NBA. I'm just okay. Look, here we go. 92. Barcelona, Spain. The absolute most best, supreme, incredible basketball team that could possibly be formed was assembled for the 1992 Summer Olympic Games. The original, the real dream team, the only true dream team. Everything else is just imitators, dog. Imitators. The real ones.
Tell them.
Nothing loaded with nothing but Hall of Famers. I mean, the only discrepancy on that team was Christian Laettner. Obviously, should have been Shaq. Should have got that spot for the college player. But look, that's neither here nor there. It didn't really matter anyway, because with Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and John Stockton and Karl Malone and Clyde Drexler and oh God, whose names am I forgetting? David Robinson, Patrick Ewing. Come on, who's fucking with that? I'll tell you who's fucking with it. Nobody was. Nobody in the whole damn world. Every game was a blowout. Nobody even came close to beating that basketball team. Man. Sure, back in the day, I was kind of like, damn, Isaiah Thomas should have been on that team too, because he was also a legendary player in that era that should have probably been on that team. But you know what? I'm okay with it because it was still, Chris Mullin. Yeah, come on. They was all out there, baby. That team right there was absolutely loaded. Absolutely loaded. And you'll never find a better assembled basketball team ever, anywhere. Nothing's fucking with that. Nobody playing today's NBA. Nobody playing in the NBA then. Nobody's messing with that 92 Dream Team. And it was a great moment in sports history because prior to that year in the Olympics, the USA was always sending college kids over there. They was getting kind of beat up on playing against professionals from the foreign countries. So USA said, you know what? Screw that. Y'all throwing y'all pros out there at our college kids? We're going to throw our pros back there at y'all pros. And clearly, our pros were just on a different level. So pros, let's go.
Our pros.
Our pros, their pros. Their pros were like Joe's. But anyway, great throwback.
Good point too, Coach Dante. He was. Back that was all.
Funny story about that team. People don't know, but behind the scenes, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan were kind of fighting for the pecking order of whose team it was. And in the locker room, Jordan and Magic were kind of having it out as to who team it was. Larry Bird walks in and basically godfathers everybody. Get up out the line.
What happened there? Good, Adam.
I am not becoming a Knicks fan, almighty. You guys have sucked for 20 plus years. Why the hell would I want to become a Knicks fan? You really want me to be tortured that much more? I'd rather deal with the torture I have now than become a Knicks fan. Hell no, no way. That's like me becoming a Jets fan, which I'd never ever do. This Brooklyn hat is staying on my head, and I'm representing Brooklyn.
BK all day, Jeff. BK all day, man.
All day. I got Nets blood running through these veins right here. Nets blood is running through these veins right now, just like Giants blood, just like New York Mets blood and Rutgers. Oh, man.
Good, Adam.
You all right, Adam?
He's coming in hot on the phone.
Yeah.
Who here? You there? Who the hell's this?
Yeah, let's go. You don't need two of you on the screen, bro. Let's go.
Well,
Double
anyway,
Adams.
as I was saying, the dream team. I don't know if you got that, but Magic and what you call it, Bird, were having it out because Michael Jordan, the young buck, was coming in, and Magic. Bird goes to Magic. He goes, "Listen, man, it's okay. Let this young buck win. It's his team. It's okay. He is the future of the NBA." And so Magic Johnson got himself checked by Larry Bird because, at that time they had a lot of egos going in. So that was a fun little fact I wanted to throw out there. I know we got a little cut off due to whatever the hell's happening right now. People don't like me on YouTube. Must be my
We're in the Twilight Zone right now, man.
Don't talk NBA. They don't like it. Don't talk NBA.
Must be my ugly face. They're like, that mother does not need to be on here. We need to turn this off. Maybe if I do this, we'll help out on that. What the heck? We'll not do that. We will not do that. I don't even know.
Almighty Finesse wants us to become Knicks fans, so it's okay.
That's a little better. Oh, my Lord. Let's move on to some other topics that we're more familiar with. The Giants, as training camp approaches, there are some battles at camp that we're all looking forward to and some players that we're looking to see. So, fellas, what types of players and or battles are you looking forward to watching as Giant training camp is approaching?
Want to kick it off first, Mac?
I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing the new additions. I'm looking forward. You know what? Now, I'm looking forward to seeing every damn body.
Yes.
I want to see everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody because this whole team got a lot to prove. New guys, as well as the guys that already been here, as well as this coaching staff. This whole damn organization got a lot to prove right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I can't even really pinpoint any one specific. Obviously, I want to see Daniel Jones if he can actually progress. If it's been actually legitimately poor coaching so far. I want to see if this kid really can be the guy that so many still believe he can be. But I want to see if Kayvon Thibodeau can come in, stepping in, put his money where his mouth is. I mean, kid seems like he's doing all the right things right now, but he still ain't never played down in the NFL yet. So I want to see if this guy is going to prove to be worthy of that number 5 overall pick we used on him. Evan Neal, is he going to help strengthen this line, get this line a little more legitimacy? I mean, it's a lot of things I want to see. Kadarius Toney, is he going to be a bigger part of this offense? Kenny Galladay, are you going to score a fucking touchdown? Like,
is that anybody? I'm just kidding.
Is anybody going to stay healthy?
But I mean, I want to see this whole damn team, this defense. Are they going to be able to? Step up this year. The secondary, a lot of question marks back in that secondary. A lot of question marks. I mean, we all believe in Xavier McKinney, but after that, it's a lot of question marks after that. You know what I mean? Just a whole lot back there. So and a lot of good wide receivers in the NFC East too, by the way. Every other team, they all got legitimate number 1 studs. So
yes,
I'm just want to see what these guys can do. The whole fucking team.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really back off what you just said because you're right. And you know what I would love to see, and I'm going to keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. I like to see that trainers room not be stacked up with a bunch of bodies in there because that's what the New York Giants have mostly been known as. We haven't done anything else right, but there's one thing we've done right. We are leading the league in injured players. Every single year, that training room is stacked up with guys tearing their ACLs, their Achilles, injuries piled up all over the place. These guys spend more times on the sidelines than they do on the field. Can these guys actually stay on the damn field for most of the season? Do I have to see every single second somebody limping off the field or somebody getting hurt and you're pretty much playing with backups the whole time? That's what I want to see the most. But like to divert off that, because that's what we all just pray that this team can actually stay healthy for a majority of the season, especially coming out of training camp. If I have to pick a position that I'm looking forward to seeing, it'd probably be the tight ends position, because I think out of all the positions on the team, I think the tight ends position might be the most wide open in terms of like we don't have an established number one guy right now. I know Adam loves to joke around about the Ricky Seals-Jones guy. He's like the number one tight end, the can't miss guy that we brought in. He's definitely the number one. But I mean, he's in there. Well, I mean, he could be penciling in as the number one, even though he's been practicing on the second and third team. I don't think he is either. I think if I had to say, Daniel Bellinger probably is the guy I hope wins that number one spot, because I want to see the young guys play. I want to see the kids play. I want to see the young kids play. I hope that Daniel Bellinger and Austin Allen, the two rookies, can go out there and have a great training camp and preseason number 45 and number 46, because I'd rather see a team that has so many question marks try to play their young players and have them grow throughout the season. So I hope that Allen and Bellinger play well. I mean, what are you going to get from Jordan Akins? Is this guy has just pretty much been a spare player in Houston, just a guy that you could send deep on a streamline. Maybe he's going to be able to catch it. Can't do anything else. Not a good guy in terms of the short passing game. Not a good blocker at all. So I think the tight end position is going to be a really fun position overall to watch, and obviously the offensive line too. I mean, the offensive line, who's going to be part of that depth? Because I think the offensive line in terms of starters for the spots are probably close to, if not locks. I think that left guard position is still wide open. In terms of the depth, who's going to win out in that depth position for the team? So I agree with Mac 100%. This whole team has a lot of question marks. What the hell are they right now? And that's why, I mean, we all have that like 7 to 8 win barrier for this team going into the season. Hopefully we end up being shocked. But, I mean, this team is just so full of questions right now. And it could be a bad thing, but at the same time, who the hell knows? Maybe it's a good thing. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, I agree with you. I think Jordan Aiken, though, will be the number one tight end. Daniel Bellinger will be number 2. Ricky Seals-Jones will be flipping burgers at Burger King. I just think, like, when you look at their body types, you look at a lot of the things they do when you watch their film. Jordan Aiken has more ability as a blocker than Ricky Seals-Jones. And I think you're going to see the tight ends, a lot of double tight ends with Daniel Bellinger as he comes up. I like Bellinger. I think he's smooth. I think he's in and out of his breaks. I think he's going to be what the Giants have lacked for the last few years, a reliable tight end, right? The Kevin Boss, the Jake Ballard, think of that type of player, except maybe a little better, a little bit more talented. So I agree with you, Jeff, there. Mac, I'm also with you. I'm just excited to see them play, strap on some helmets, the blades of grass, the swirling winds, everything that comes with the game of football. But I'm really interested in a guy named Ellison Smith. Last year they drafted him as an outside linebacker in the 4th round and really kind of were like, he's going to be a good pass rusher given some time. So I know that they brought in Kayvon Thibodeau, who I am over the moon for. I think he's going to be the next great pass rusher, the Giants haven't had since JPP, one of those type of players. He's going to be here long term. But I'm interested in the guys like Ellison Smith. Quincy Roche, I was intrigued by last year when they got him. I also wanted them to draft him. He comes in and has a couple sacks. I want to see his development. Ellison Smith intrigues me because he only played special teams. Will he get a block this year? I want to see a lot of what the role players are going to be involved in this year and how they're going to utilize them. Because like Jeff, you said, I'd rather not see Ricky Seals-Jones or Jordan Aiken. I'd rather see Austin Allen and other guys like that because I want to see development. And the thing that when you say that comes to mind is that means I don't want to win games because I need their experience to trump winning games. And what I mean by that is I can't just not every rookie is going to be good, but if I think Daniel Bellinger is the future, I've got to get him the reps now instead of saying, let me wait for Ricky Seals-Jones because we want to compete. And this is why I kept trying to tell people, it's like, I think people need to realize, like, we need to just be good and build a foundation. Players like Bellinger in the system for a couple years. Get, Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal, Andrew Thomas, guys like that in the system for a few years. So that in year 3 of this rebuild in 2024, when we're going down the line, we'll have probably our quarterback, because I don't think our guy is going to make it. And then we'll probably have the guys that we think are going to be here, the Evan Neals and our offensive line and our defense in place, so that we can actually compete. Because I don't want to overshoot our thing like we did in 2016, where we thought we were great, and the next year we come back, everybody gets injured, we have nothing, right? Next year they have a lot of guys leaving.
What's up, Reek?
Will Blake Martinez be here? Reek, what am I talking about? Well, maybe if you listened a little fast, I won't have to slow down for you to catch up. But if you want to know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the NFL and the New York Giants. Maybe you should fast forward it, rewind a little bit. Maybe you catch up a little bit and know what we talk about. But anyways, Reek, got me thrown off when you're coming in here. I'm just excited for the team. Olivia said something interesting. She said, I want to see the offensive schemes. Yes, put a man in freaking motion. Do something. They're going to do a lot of what I heard today. They're going to do a lot of short passes because they want to get the ball at Daniel Jones' hands. And I'm like, interesting. Very interesting. There's a lot of interesting things that I keep hearing that stack up. The playbook is exorbitant amount of information. Will they be on the same page? How do they come out? Tennessee, I'm telling you people, Tennessee ain't no joke, man.
The defense is good.
No joke.
The defense is good.
You keep wanting to sleep on them, but think about the Pittsburgh Steelers game, because somebody said that. Mike Tomlin came out when the Giants played them in 2020, and he beat up on them defensively, and that could be the outcome of the game against Tennessee. They have a good defense. We have a new coach, a new system in place, ripe for the picking, man. Just don't overlook them. And I just want to see how they perform. But, guys, if you have anything else about that, we can go on, or we can talk more about the NFL a little bit, or some things that you think,
I mean, I honestly think, and this is just for me, I honestly think that the wide receiver position is going to be one of the major X factors for this team
I'm sorry about
this
that.
year. Hey, what's going on, Zion?
My bad. I'm sorry about that,
we
guys.
know what you're bad. You've been saying it for the past
Yeah.
25 minutes. Now get on. You're going to get on the stream and come back on. What are your take? What players do you like? What are you excited to see about Giant football?
First off, I just have to say all of you guys sound so professional. Listening to you guys on Bluetooth in my car, I just have to say, you guys all tap yourselves on the shoulders. You guys sound really good there. Upcoming expectations you set for the Giants football?
Well, the question really is, the banner says, what are some of your storylines or things you're looking forward to seeing this year, or training camp battles you may be interested in? Jeff said tight ends. Mac went with the defense and some of the young players, and just he's excited about football, as am I. And I went with Ellerson Smith. I want to see how he develops.
I just got 1.2 later, but I'll wait until Zion finishes.
Yeah, I'm excited to just want to watch football again. Mostly the offensive line. I just want to see us. I know it's going to take some time. I know it's going to take progress. But if I had to pick one position group, it'll probably be the offensive line. Reason being is because our favorite player on the Giants, my favorite player on the Giants is Barkley. And we never seen him, really run behind a good O-line. As much as I'm excited for, what we have on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to the line, I'm more concerned about the backfield when it comes to the DBs. One injury away from, I don't know what we have back there. So that being said, it's probably those two positions. The defensive backfield scares the heck out of me, really. And the offensive line doesn't scare me as much, but it excites me almost, because we actually can see if good coaching can really put together a really established and well gelled offensive line. You don't need a top 10 offensive line to win in the National Football League. And I wanted to see, it's going to take some time. I know Giants fans want us to just come out the gate running and beat the Titans, but that's not going to happen. Just quickly, we have to learn how to gel as a unit. And I'm excited to see the development of our players under a new regime. I'm excited to see the offense under, I'm not that knowledgeable on the sport. At least I don't think I am. And even I knew what Garrett was running last year and stuff like that. So we're going to see much surprises there on offense. I'm just super excited to, no matter what, year after year after year after year, this team lets us down. But at the end of the day, we're Giants fans. I'm just super excited, and I can't wait for the football season. I know I come off as I've been vampiring the Giants lately because it's just so damn depressing. rooting for a team and buying all this apparel and the team doesn't do shit. But long story short, I'm just super excited to have football back in less than a month and a half.
Mhm.
Excellent.
And I mean, just to that was excellent points that you made, Zion. I mean, what you were saying about the offensive line, I absolutely agree. I think that's going to be an important part of this team going forward. But I honestly believe the biggest key to this team, or one of the biggest keys, is that wide receiver core. We've been talking about this wide receiver core when we brought them in. Oh, we got Kenny Golladay, we got Kadarius Toney, we got Sterling Shepard, we got Darius Slayton. Now we got Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah, what did they do last year? Oh, they were all too busy sitting on the sidelines. My eyes, most of this season, are going to be zeroed in on those wide receivers because you guys were picked high. You guys were paid the money. It's time for you guys to go out there and step up. Help your quarterback out. Help out Saquon Barkley and your offensive line. If this offense and Daniel Jones are doing anything this year, those wide receivers are the keys. They have to step the hell up. Kenny Golladay, you got paid $72 million. Go out there and be a number one wide receiver and actually catch a damn touchdown. Kadarius Toney, we all see what your talent is. You can be an explosive playmaker for this team and in the NFL. Get your head out of your ass sometimes and stay on the field, please. Sterling Shepard, all of us love this guy. He's been a New York Giant for so long. He's pretty much our guy. But this guy can't stay on the damn field. Sterling Shepard, stay on the damn field, please, for longer than 2 games. Darius Slayton, if you're on the squad,
he could be so dynamic. You know what I'm saying, Jeff?
Yeah, they all are. Even Darius Slayton. Slayton has had moments where he gets open somehow. He's wide open deep at times, but he's too busy dropping the ball and has lack of concentration. If he comes back on this team and he can be that situational deep threat and fit into his role where he doesn't have to play too much, he could still be a playmaker for his team. And Wan'Dale Robinson, who Almighty Finesse was talking about, I think this kid is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see what Wan'Dale Robinson is going to bring to this offense. I know he's never done it yet in the NFL. I know he's just we don't know what this kid is, but just watching this kid on tape, it does get me a little bit excited because of the type of offense we're going to be running, those dink and dunk plays. I think a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson is the perfect type of player to have in this offense.
Here's the thing, though, too, right, Jeff? It's like he never done it in the NFL, but, you've been doing it your whole life. Don't overthink it. Go out there and go get paid for it. Go catch the football. You know what I'm saying?
But can these wide receivers step up and do something, please? Can you stay on the damn field? You guys are the keys. Stay on the field. Sorry, Adam.
The only thing I would say about Wan'Dale Robinson is that he's a body catcher, so he needs to work on getting his hands a little bit more extended out when he catches the football, because that could cost him down the line when DBs put their hands between your arms and things like that. You got to go snatch the ball out of the air a little bit more. So that's the one thing I take away from his film. I watched it today in another highlight when the ball was passed to him. He was catching it with his body, and that is not a good trait to have in the NFL. That leads to a lot of drops and other problems. But yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see it. I'm more excited about football.
Constantly.
I'm more excited about football. Let's just get this together. I think fans are excited because we finally have optimism in the building. It looks like they're doing things the right way, minus a few things. I think there's a plan. We just got to let them stick to their plan. I don't have expectations because I don't think the GM and coach have expectations. I think they just want to build and have a good team going forward and keep building the right way. Look at the Buffalo Bills. I keep saying that. They came in 2018 and they built it from brick by brick by brick. It wasn't just an overnight process. They had to bring in the guys they wanted. They weren't a top 20 offense until Stephon Diggs got there. Go look at the film. Go look at the tape. It's true. Brian Daboll's effect didn't take effect until really 2020 and 2021. Those first 2 years.
Until Josh Allen truly had a number one.
Right. Yeah. Those first 2 years, it took a while for them to develop their system. So this is the reason why. And that team was far more talented than the Giants. The Giants are a talented team, but not as well as the Bills. So if you're going to tell me that this team is going to come in and build it gradually, just build it. Get the foundation moving. so that then next year you're not looking for question marks. You already have positions filled. It's like, okay, what do I need now? Okay, I need another guard because all mine stink, or Josh Azuda needs more seasoning. Great. We need a center. Okay, because, Shane Lemieux's our guy at guard. Now we can get a center. These are the type of things I want to know. The quarterback also will be solved. If Daniel Jones has a great season, are you willing to pay him that much money? If he has a bad season, what are you going to do to move up to get your guy? There's so many questions that are still not answered, but you got to let these guys figure it out. Joe Shane, this is his first GM job. I love what he did in Buffalo. I love that he has an assistant GM. I think the Giants needed that. They never had one of those before. I think front office, getting our ducks in a row, looks good. Brian Daboll, like what he's doing. Well, let's find out what he is. We'll find out if he's really the coach of this team or just another guy. Because we've been excited for Pat Shurmur. We've been excited for Ben McAdoo. We've been excited for Joe Judge. And all of them.
We went to a wall for Joe Judge.
Yes.
Yeah, we all did.
Where are they now? Joe Judge is trying to figure out offense in New England. McAdoo has the same damn ugly haircut he had when he left us. Okay, and Pat Shurmur can't buy an offensive quarterback these days. Okay, so those three guys are gone, and now we have another guy who we're hoping, because he came from Buffalo, is going to be the same. And all I want to say is, let them develop. Let your expectations be. Let's do it the right way, right? Do it the right. Build gradually. There's a prime team that's done that. The 49ers have done that. They came in, they built their team. They went to the playoffs. They went to the Super Bowl. They had a down year due to injuries. They're back in the playoffs. They're consistently good now, even with bad quarterback play, because they're building their team right. Their drafts are going well. Let's get that right first before we start trying to get to the playoffs. Let's start building the foundation of the house before we put the house on, before it sinks into the mud. Be excited.
Said, man. Well said.
It's an exciting time. I love it. This is my favorite time of year. We get to put the pads on, we get to smell the grass, and we get to march for the Lombardi. Because at the end of the day, we all want the Lombardi. We don't want no division title. We don't want no conference title. We want a Lombardi title. We want a trophy. But it starts with baby steps. Let's get it right. Let's get the GM in place. Let's get the coach in place. Let's get the players in place, and away we go. Look at all the good teams. What do they have in common? Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin hasn't missed the playoffs in his entire tenure. Why? Because that team drafts well. They bring in the right players, and they have expectations that they set. They set a brand of excellence because they know how to win. This team doesn't know how to win. So let's do this first and get there before we start to go further than we expect.
That was very well said, Adam. Now I agree with 100% everything you said. Everything you said, I agree 100%. Baby steps before we make that big leap. And if we end up winning more games this year because things just break our way, awesome. I mean, we'll be ahead of schedule, but
right,
we'll see. It's a crapshoot right now.
So be it. And with that being said, we're going to end the show a little early this week, just to give you guys a break. But if you guys got one last sport moment, you may want to share to let these guys go, or we can just let them go. It's up to you guys.
Well, I mean, first off, the WWE was an absolute disaster this week, so that's why we didn't want to bother talking about that, especially if you had the unfortunate pleasure of seeing that horrendous SmackDown episode. Nothing. SmackDown was sucked. SmackDown sucked.
You want a synopsis? Liv Morgan won the Money in the Bank. Austin Theory won the Money in the Bank. Adam Costas could have wrote this from his living room, because those are the exact things I said to you guys on Premium Takes last week, and they happened. Thank you.
And Maximum Male Models.
You know
Don't
what?
forget about that.
You know what, Vince McMahon? I'll accept some of that settlement money. You can throw it here, because I just wrote the program.
That's funny.
Wrote your programs. Okay, so here we go. All right, so Mac, tell them where they can find you. Tell them what you got going on this summer and what you got coming up down the road, and we'll leave the fans with what we'll end tonight on that.
Well, folks, I am Mac the Giants fan, MACDA, Giants fan. You can find me right here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all the same. Mac the Giants fan, MACDA, Giants fan. You can catch me, Adam Costas, July 20th, It's going to be a Wednesday evening, about 5:30 p.m. for another off-season edition of the Real Deal NFC East Roundup. And that's coming while we going to be breaking down, previewing them training camps, you know what I mean? Eagles, Cowboys, New York Football Giants, and them Washington Commanders going to be getting set for training camps. And me and my guy, Adam Costas, we going to be, you know what I mean, previewing that, letting y'all know what they got brewing, you know what I mean? What they got brewing. So, you know what I mean? That's where you can find me at, though, right there. Everywhere, Mac the Giants fan. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Anywhere you go, I'm Mac the Giants fan. Everybody know that. I'm Mac the Giants fan.
How about Jeffy above me?
Well, Mac, don't forget about that awesome other show that you have going on. Sometimes we brought those little nuggets to happen that you know what it is. Don't forget about Behind the Wheel.
Yeah, I got
Can't forget about that too, man.
I got to get back on them. But ain't been enough been happening, so.
That's true.
Now that we've had the Mac Power Hour and everyone knows where they can find Mac, let's get into Jeffy. Where can they find you, my man?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, JeffyT85. That's MYG, Jeff T, 3285. I'm right now got a 9-part series. It does a little bit. I'm right now doing a 9-part series for training camp. I got part 7 dropping tomorrow for the New York Giants roundabout. And we're tomorrow.
Hey, you stealing our thunder again. It sounds too similar to what we got going on.
Do I gotta put Lawrence Taylor back on the screen? Do I gotta put LT back on that screen again? Do you really want me to go there?
I'm gonna call in the patent office tomorrow, and I'm gonna be like, "Yo, this guy Jeffy T be stealing everything."
I'm gonna call an audible on this one.
What is going on?
Are you throwing the red flag? You throwing that yellow flag on me right now? 15-yard penalty.
I am throwing the penalty, holding on Jeffrey inappropriate name calling. But anyways, Jeff, keep going, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all good. I got the Giants roundabout going on tomorrow at 12 p.m. We'll be talking about them linebackers. If you haven't already, catch up to the rest of the things the videos that I put on the roundabout. I got a couple more dropping during the week. I also cover the New York Mets. Hopefully they can pick it up the next couple of days. The Brooklyn Nets, we all know they're a disaster right now. The WWE Wrestling, it's been a disaster. And a couple of things, a little food for thought. I actually did a little funny thing, a nice little hot dog eating contest that I had a couple of days ago. Yes, I actually went there. And I have a couple of other things coming during this. Yeah, I did go there. And I also got a couple of things coming for the NFL season, including I'm going to have myself a little injury report going on every single week for the New York Giants.
Have a wing eating contest with himself every week.
Don't give me ideas. That might be coming next. That could be coming next. You never know what might be dropping on that channel. So I'm going to have a New York Giants injury report every Wednesday through Friday. I'm going to be updating the practices to see what guys are practicing fully, what guys have been limited, and what guys are not practicing at all. Hopefully these Giants players will actually practice. I got a couple of other things going on for the Brooklyn Nets coming up in the fall. So if you catch me, NYG Jeffy YT 3285, and with my boys right here, the Four Horsemen, throw up those fours before you guys leave and hit that like button. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already to all these great content creators covering the New York Football Giants and to that Hardcore Sports Network. Thank you very much. Zion, I throw it down to you.
Now that the laundry list of all the stuff you're doing is over, we can get to Zion's. Just kidding.
Yeah, okay. It was long-winded.
Yo, Zion Zenith on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Bless up to all of y'all.
I'd like to say thank you to everybody in the chat. It was a fire chat tonight. I know we had our technical difficulties, but we still had 6 to 12. We had 12 people at one point watching our show, so we were doing pretty well. And then we still have 6 strong going now. So I'd like to thank you guys for coming back and hanging with us. Appreciate everything you guys have done, sharing your comments and your memories with us. It's been an absolutely fun stream. Guys, thank you for blessing me with your presence tonight. You can find me and Mac the Giants on the
Big Passports Talk. Don't forget about this guy.
On NFC East Roundup. I can't do it as well as Mac. I don't do it do a disservice. But NFC East Roundup with Mac Giant fan, he and I will be coming to you live July 20th. Don't try to steal our thunder, Jeff. July 20th, we'll be coming out to you at 5:30. Jeff will be out at 5 o'clock just so he can try to get ahead of us. But 5:30 p.m., you're going to find out our true feelings about this NFC.
What up, Pat?
We go on. We also have the Hurry Up Live that comes on spontaneously. Usually at the end of the week, I talk about whatever bothers me, which is usually Daniel Jones and some dumb comments people make about the maybe being a soft schedule or things of that nature. Sometimes you got to let it out, and I let it out on the Hurry Up. So come watch that. And of course, this show, Premium Takes, coming at you. We're going to be changing up the timing of the show in the next couple of weeks, folks. We'll let you know. We'll give that announcement out there. It'll probably be Saturdays in the preseason, and then during the week in the regular season, it'll probably come at you during the weekdays so we can really get at you. But hey,
Thank you, Pat.
it's been a great night. I'm Adam Costas. These are my three other horsemen that join me every Sunday. We are the four horsemen of YouTube. See you later.
Hey.